Disney, they did it again. Disney is changing the lyrics to The Little Mermaid, specifically the song Kiss the Girl. Now, I have not seen The Little Mermaid since I was about 5 years old. I don't remember anything about it, really, and I've never read the Hans Christian Andersen book. So all I remember, really, is that song, "You got to kiss the girl." I don't even really remember how the tune goes. "So go on and kiss the girl." You know that song? So that's the song they're going to change. And why? You know why they're going to change it. You're not allowed to just kiss a girl anymore. You're practically a rapist if you kiss a girl. If you like a girl and you're kind of flirting with each other and then you lean in, and have a little smooch. Well, you're not allowed to do that. You need to get written and notarized letter of consent from her, witnessed by 3 different people, signed off on by a judge. Then maybe you can consider sending her a telegram to ask if she might be willing to kiss you. What are the lyrics? These are the lyrics they're going to change. Yes, you want her. Look at her, you know you do. Possible she wants you too. There is one way to ask her. It don't take a word, not a single word. Go on and kiss the girl. This is an even sillier version of the left-wing temper tantrums over Baby It's Cold Outside. They say, oh, it's not consensual, it's rapey, it's coercive, No, it's romantic. It's romantic to go up and you're flirting with the girl and you both kind of like each other and you both kind of lean in a little bit and then what do? You smooch. And she likes to kiss you. Or, you know what, maybe she doesn't like you to kiss her and so she turns her head away. And that smooch lands on the cheek and you got rejected. Okay. All right, there you go. At least you tried to kiss the girl. The Libs have lost a sense of romance. That's why they don't get Kiss the Girl. That's why they don't get Baby It's Cold Outside. The whole point of Baby It's Cold Outside is like, oh, I really shouldn't stay, but baby, it's cold outside. All right, well, maybe. Okay, I'll just stay for a little bit, I guess. It's a little game of seduction. It's a game of flirtation. It's the woman, because she has an ideal of modesty, she wants to stay with the guy, but she knows that she ought to be modest, and so there's a dance that's taking place there. And there's a much more innocent version of that even taking place in the Disney song. But the Libs have lost that because they've lost the conception of the difference between men and women. For the Libs, everybody's the same. For the Libs, we're all just kind of blobs. We're all sexless blobs. And so this started with feminism, but that means you can't treat male-female reactions as something special and fun and coquettish. And no. It's just, we're all just blobs. So you should treat your romantic partner in the same way you'd treat your accountant. It's completely ridiculous. And you see the height of this in yesterday's great international holiday. It was International Asexuality Day. Did you know that? Asexuality, which literally means you're just not sexual. But then I saw a meme going around. They're all these explainer memes from the sexual revolution. And this one, it said, asexual myths. Here are the myths. All asexuals hate and don't want sex. And the correction is, not all asexuals feel this way. Okay. Myth, asexuals don't want to be in relationships. Response, many do, with or without sex. So not even just without sex, with or without. Asexuality is a choice. Someone says, no, you're thinking of celibacy or abstinence. We can't stop being asexual, but asexual means, what does it mean? It means you either like sex or you don't like sex, and you do want to be in a relationship or you don't want to be in a relationship, and if you are in a relationship, it's either with sex or without sex, and that's asexuality. No, that's just anything. That's just every option. So on Asexuality Day, we celebrate everything, but it's supposed to be really niche and special. And the problem that the Libs are running into, and the reason that there are a gazillion genders, and the reason that we can't pin down the meaning of any particular concept anymore, is because if everything means everything, then nothing means anything. If everything means everything, then nothing means anything. If anybody can be a woman, then woman doesn't mean anything. If anybody can be an American, American doesn't mean anything. If anybody can be asexual, then asexual actually does not does not mean anything. The Biden administration cannot win for losing. Everything that Joe Biden touches turns to ash, and even the liberal press is noticing it. This was Thursday night, Thursday late afternoon, there was a news dump, and the news dump was that the Afghanistan withdrawal report is finally coming out. This is now long overdue. And even Ed O'Keefe at CBS News, not exactly a right-wing outlet, called out John Kirby over at the White House and said, wait a second, why are you dumping this report right before Good Friday, right before everyone's taking time off for Easter? You're obviously just trying to hide this.
So, John, thank you for doing this, but I think I speak on behalf of my colleagues in this room, and we want the record to reflect that this was sent to us about 10 minutes before the briefing began, with little notice, and it's the very definition of a modern major holiday news dump. You're releasing this at the beginning of the high holidays, and after months of requests from Republicans and the broader public. So why today? And is this all we get? And is this a response to the studies that were done by the agencies? Or is this considered a summary?
So good on Ed O'Keefe for calling him out like this. It obviously is a major holiday news dump. And why are they doing it? It's because the Afghanistan withdrawal was a complete debacle. It was tragic and a huge embarrassment for the Biden administration. And so the only option they've got is to sweep it under the rug. That is their best bet. There's no other way. Yes, it's embarrassing that they're being called out for the holiday news dump, but it's less embarrassing than having to actually answer for this. The Biden foreign policy has been a complete disaster, and we've just heard about this from Russia. Russia is now saying that the U.S. is in a hot war with Russia. Not a Cold War, not a new Cold War, not a proxy war through Ukraine. Russia's saying we're in a hot war. They say, quote, I think we've already passed the period of Cold War. Now we are in the phase of a hot conflict with the United States. We are witnessing the direct involvement of that country in a hybrid war with Russia on various fronts. The way our American opponents are recklessly, provocatively, and in many respects, absolutely carelessly moving up the escalation ladder, the way they are blinded by their absolutely absurd certainty about their ability to inflict a strategic defeat on Russia, makes one doubt their mental faculties and their common sense. I've told you before, I'll say it again. The best kind of propaganda is the kind that's true. And is this propaganda? Yes. And is it true? Yes, it is also. I am seriously doubting the mental faculties and common sense of my leaders here in the United States. Obviously, our president barely knows his own name, and you want to talk about their common sense, they don't know the difference between boys and girls and men and women. And as pertains to this issue, our sclerotic elite is sleepwalking us into World War III. Show me the lie here. Show me the lie that we're in an increasingly hot war with Russia. We are. Yeah, that's true. It's not a war that the American people seem very much to want, but it's a war that was forced upon us, and it's been building for a very long time. And it would be one thing if we had an agile, intelligent, serious elite that was running the country, that was waging this war, but we don't. We have Joe Biden, who doesn't know what day it is. We've got Mark Milley, who wants to focus on white rage and critical race theory for his poor troops. We've got the Admiral Levine, Assistant Secretary of Health, who says we need to trans the kids. We've got John Kirby over there, a spokesman who is trying to cover up all the failures of the Afghanistan withdrawal from the political class. It's just a complete joke. And by the way, we've got Vladimir Zelensky, the leader of Ukraine, who says that Joe Biden essentially caused the war. Because Joe Biden pulled the pressure off of Russia in the form of lifting those sanctions before he reinstituted the sanctions. And because Joe Biden literally invited Putin to invade part of Ukraine. He said, if it's only a minor incursion into Ukraine, then it won't be that big of a deal. And so what does Putin do? He invades Ukraine. And now what's happening? We're just escalating this war mindlessly and mindlessly. He's saying this is increasing by the day. And it is. Wars have started over a lot less. Hot wars have started over a lot less. I love too, the Russia points out, says the absurd certainty about America's ability to inflict a strategic defeat on Russia. It increasingly seems like an absurd certainty because we were told that those sanctions, we're going to rally the whole world, we're going to impose those sanctions on Russia, it was going to destroy the U.S. economy. And what happened? It basically boomeranged back on the United States and Europe, especially Europe. but it hit back on the West. We didn't cripple Russia. We didn't end the war. It didn't work. I don't consider that a knock on the US, and I don't consider that something to be admired about Russia, but it's sure as hell a knock on our elite. These guys don't know what they're doing. And now we're trusting them to what? To talk us down from World War III? No way. They're going to get us into World War III if we're not in it already. And then do you trust them to wage World War III? I don't. I don't trust Joe Biden to go buy the right ice cream down the street. I don't trust him to do anything, and I don't trust his people to do anything either. The rest of the show continues now. You do not want to miss it. Become a member and use code Knowles, Knowles, at checkout for 2 months free on all annual plans.